Hi, Harry. We're in lockdown and it's bizarre circumstances for everybody. How's it treating you?
Yeah, it's strange, obviously, to do an interview on a laptop, but no, it's the same for everyone. We're staying indoors, following the good government guidelines. It's difficult, but it's a lot more difficult for the NHS and the key workers out there who are working every day. So no, for myself, I'm really proud of the NHS and the work they're doing. So I'm following the guidelines to protect them.
What's the sort of fitness protocol that you've been following in the last few weeks? Are you doing group sessions, or are you doing individual sessions, or both?
Yeah, we're doing a bit of both. We're trying to meet up on a conference call every now and then, and maybe do some sort of core circuit or hamstring circuit. But mainly the fitness sessions in terms of the cardio, they've been sending them over. It's either on a bike or outside. Or on a treadmill. So no, we're trying to do our bit. There's not much else to do apart from just get your hour exercise in a day. So there's no excuses for the lads in terms of not keeping themselves fit.
When Ollie brought you to Manchester United in the summer, you were seen as a big part of the rebuilding process of obviously this Manchester United team, this new team that he's trying to build. Where do you think the team are at in comparison to where Ollie described it when he first spoke to you?
Yeah, I think you can see from the start of the season we look a lot more like a team. We can probably see where we want to go and where we want to head. I knew when I first come to Manchester United that Ollie said to me loads and loads, like it's a building process, but we'll get to where we want to be. And I can see where we're heading and the style that he wants to implement on our team. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of aspects where we still need to improve to get to the top where we want to be. We don't want to be challenging for this Champions League spot. We want to be challenging for titles. So we know there's still a lot of improvement to get there. But that's where we feel like we're on the right track, and I'm sure eventually we will get there.
Has there anything surprised you about the club in your first 6-7 months playing in that red shirt?
I think the obviously the expectation of playing for Manchester United, every game is so big. It's the expectation, but I think I knew before coming to the club. I mean, spoke to ex-players. I spoke to Johnny Evans a lot, who fully recommended. Obviously, such an unbelievable club. But no, I think just that it's more than a club. It's more than a football club. I think you've seen the way that they've acted during this crisis and how classy they've been throughout it. It's more than a football club. It's something that it worked well in the community. It works well in Manchester, and you've seen that over the crisis. What many things that they've done.
Well, you're now the Manchester United captain. Obviously, you know that's a great responsibility. What have you been doing to immerse yourself in terms of, obviously, as a captain within the club, to try and establish yourself with that authority?
Yeah, I think obviously first and foremost, it's a great privilege to be Manchester United captain. No, I just want to first and foremost, I've got to look after my own game. I've got to make sure that I'm performing at my own level, and then obviously looking after the team. I think it's really important as a captain that you put the team instead of your own performance, but you've got to be on the pitch to implement that. So no, it's around the place. We've got a number of leaders now. I think we've started to show. I think Bruno's come in and he's shown himself to be a leader. We've got a leadership group with a lot of senior pros in there, so we're all trying to help and do our bit. But no, I'm in constant conversations with the coaches and the management staff, and it's just something that I want to make sure this club goes forward and moves forward and gets back to where it be.
Have you done anything off the pitch in terms of the other members of staff or around the club?
Yeah, obviously I'm constantly speaking to the staff and the physios and the masseurs and the kit men. It's always nice to help them out and do things for them and make sure that they feel really involved with the club. I also went and visited all the staff at the stadium. I knew a lot about the history about Man United, but I didn't really know about the actual feel of the club and realise how big the club actually is. The amount of staff that goes on and works at Old Trafford is incredible, and the work that they do. It's not just about the 11 players on the pitch. It's a club as a whole, and it's such a big club and a huge club. And no, it was great to meet them all and see the work that they did as well.
Good stuff. I mean, did the armband come a lot quicker than you expected?
Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, Ashley was there at the time, and I've got to say, in the 6 months when I've worked with Ash, he was brilliant as a captain. He had great authority around the place. He had great respect. So no, I obviously didn't expect Ashley to move on in January, but no, wish him all the best. And like I said, I did learn a lot from him in that short space.
So obviously you mentioned yourself and the leadership group. You obviously over the last few weeks have been involved in the Players Together programme, influencing the players, setting up an initiative. Can you just tell us a little bit about that and how it came about?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, for myself, I had quite a numerous amount of players from my team contact me and just ask me what we was doing and what we was looking to do. So that's great on the behalf that I knew from my team that everyone wanted to chip in. There's a lot of people who will be doing a lot of things on their own back, but doesn't get put into the media, etc. Or people will be helping their own countries. But as a team, we knew that we had to do something. So we spoke to other teams and we just congregated like that. And I think it's really refreshing that every team in the Premier League, when we spoke to all the captains, we got together and every team wanted to do the bit. Every team wanted to help the crisis. So no, it was really refreshing on that behalf, and it's nice to get it up and running. But now, obviously, we've still got work to do, and hopefully we can help out as much as we can.
I know that you mentioned about own players initiatives, and I know you've not publicised it, but I was actually searching over the last couple of days, knowing I was going to be interviewing you, and it's came up Mosborough, which is the place where you grew up, and you've done something quite special there, haven't you?
Yeah, I grew up there. My family still live there. Quite a lot of my family all still live there. So no, I provided food hampers for the elderly in the village and the community. So hopefully they can stay at home and not have to go to the shops. But I also use the local corner shop, as you would say, called Herrings. I use that to help them out and to provide the food hampers. So hopefully we can keep the money in the community as well. So no, it was something nice. I'm really proud that I can be able to do that.
Manchester United have handled this crisis particularly well, a lot better than a lot of the other clubs who obviously have struggled through these last few weeks. In terms of, obviously, we pick up, it's the newspapers or we read the headlines daily, and there's a lot of talk around the players, what's happening between the players and the clubs, not just at Premier League level, but obviously all throughout the leagues with regards to salary cuts and deferrals. Where's this heading in terms of what sort of chats have you had at sort of Manchester United level around these things?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost that every club will be different. I'm having weekly discussions with the club about how we want to go forward and how we want to monitor it. And I think that's as much as we can say on behalf of our club. We will keep monitoring the situation weekly. And then I'm sure every week we'll evaluate and see where we're at and see if we need to do anything regarding, like you say, pay cuts or deferrals. But every club will be different. Every club have different circumstances, and I'm sure each captain will be speaking with the clubs on behalf of that.
Going back to the football side of things, in the last 11 matches, you've kept 9 clean sheets obviously this outbreak of the virus happening. What changed in that last couple of months that made the defence just settle down? There were problems earlier on in the season, but all of a sudden it all seemed to come together.
Yeah, it's obviously it's been a great run of form for clean sheets. You know better than anyone that sometimes you play better in games where you probably defend better when you concede 1 and 2 goals, but you manage to keep clean sheet and David pulls off 2 or 3 great saves and everyone's praising the defence. So there was times at the start of the season where one thing that we have showed up on at the moment is defending set plays. If you look back at our record before we started keeping this run of clean sheets, defending set plays, I'd say we was up there with one of the worst in the league. Which if you can't defend set plays and you're not scoring at the other end from them, you're not going to stand a chance in reaching where you want to go, because it's such a big part of the game now. And I think we just gelled together more. I think it's a new back four. Obviously, Luke's been playing really, really well of late. He's been settled in at the left back, and then we've got Aaron and me and Vic. Eric's coming back and started pushing for places and makes everyone ups the game, because when he's coming, he's done really well. So we've got a settled back four. and I think we're just learning each other's games really well. But like I said, at the start of the season, we conceded a lot of goals from set plays, and that, if you look into that and you see probably 1-2 goals a games where they could have easily been clean sheets too.
Earlier on in the season, you know, if you're a Manchester United fan, which I am, speak to many of them, there was massive talk about the big problem is the centre of midfield. We need a new midfield. However, McTominay's played well this season. Fred's been outstanding. And then I want to talk to you particularly about the introduction of Bruno Fernandes. And all of a sudden, that midfield looks completely different. It looks like it's, you know, the thing that connects everything together for the team. How big an influence has Bruno Fernandes been, and how good is he?
Yeah, first and foremost, he's been brilliant since he's come in. He's been brilliant off the field, around the training ground. He's a leader. He wants to win. Everything he does, he wants to win. You can tell he's been brought up with that attitude. And no, he's just given us that little bit more life. He's given us that little bit more creativity in the middle, like you said. What we've the United fans have said that we've missed over the years. So no, it's a start. There's lots of aspects of his game where I'm sure he'll want to improve, and I'm sure he will improve, and I'm sure he will get better for this club. Obviously, we've got Paul to come back as well, who'll probably make himself lift his game even more. So no, he's got a good competition for places in that centre midfield now. They know every game that they're going to have to be on the game to keep the spot. So I'm sure we'll see the benefits.
Do you feel now, when you're at the club and you see this young team emerging, there are a lot of young players, do you feel like you absolutely made the right decision to come to Manchester United and choose Manchester United in the summer?
Yeah, definitely. It's such a big club. It's such an iconic club that as soon as I knew Manchester United, I was interested. I was jumping at the bit to get there. No, I've seen, as soon as I come to the club and just the way the club is and the way the club is run, I was so happy with the decision. Obviously, we've had some difficult times at the start of the season where the results didn't go our way, and you know when you play for a club like Manchester United, the pressure comes down on you. But we know that we're on the right track. We've always felt we're on the right track. Like I said, there's so much work to do. I'm not saying that we're there yet. But if we keep improving like we have done this season, I'm sure next season will be better than this season, and so. We'll build and try and reach our goals.
I like the fact you've got that United shirt. Is it United shirt on the wall? Is it an England away shirt?
No, it's a United shirt.
It's a United shirt. Yeah, I'm happy about that. What have you got a message for the United fans that are watching this interview? Yeah,
I think obviously they've been brilliant throughout the season. Just stick with us, keep supporting the way we are. Obviously at the moment, follow the government guidelines, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Everyone wants football to be back as soon as we can, but the most important thing is safety at the moment. But I'm looking forward to walking out on Old Trafford again and seeing the fans there.
Good stuff. Thanks, Harry. Great to speak to you.
Thank you. Speak soon.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, Harry.